things aren't always as they seem.
Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh my goodness, good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah Laverne. Arlin Smith is in the house. But before I go any further, I got to congratulate Ace Timbermeyer. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this. It was so funny. I had Billy Vogel in here, I guess on Tuesday. And we talked a little bit about the fact that the city was about to hire a tourism coordinator. And I was being snarky. I was like, yeah, I applied for it. I didn't even get an interview. And I have an idea for a string festival here in town. And I kind of had that in my head. I thought if I get an interview, I want to present this to them because I think it's a good idea. And then when I found out they hired Ace, I'm like, well, of course, she's perfect. Now I'm wondering who's going to slide in and take over, with United Way. And Brian Pooley's going to miss her. But I'm super excited about that. That hire. Way to go, Springfield City, because that's perfect. And yes, I've got an idea for a festival I want to tell you about. But anyway, that's awesome. And Ace is our speaker today at the Recovery Court graduation. I'm so excited about that as well. That's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. I got to go and do the second harvest thing up at the Benevolent Center. We got to unload, and then I'm going to hightail it back out here. I had told them I take photographs. Okay, I'm a photographer, and I'm kind of getting my feet wet again. And my camera kit, we took it with us this Sunday or this past weekend to take pictures, family pictures up at my mother's in Kentucky. The battery charger got left, and my camera's dead. So I had to message Althea last night. I said, I'll still take pictures, but it's going to be with my iPhone. And you can take really good pictures with a smartphone, but it's not quite what you can do with a professional camera set, kit. Yeah. But nonetheless, I'm going to go take pictures with my little iPhone, and they'll be beautiful. But anyway, I'm looking forward to being there. And if you don't have that on your schedule, get over to the center at noon today and come to the Recovery Court graduation. It is just awesome. And be sure and congratulate Ace on her new position. And I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to have Arlin Smith, Dr. Arlin Smith, in the house. He messaged me. He's like, hey, do you got any time? And I was like, I think I actually have Thursday morning open because you have an event tonight.
Yes.
What's going on?
The center is going to be a busy place today.
Oh, my goodness,
yes.
Isn't that the
Recovery
truth?
Court kicks off at noon. And then tonight at 5 o'clock, the doors are going to open, and we're going to have our Reagan Day dinner event take place for the Republican Party. Man, excited about this. Just to touch on the tired side, but it's good. We're excited. We have our congressman. Well, we have two congressmen speaking, both of them keynote speakers. We have Congressman John Rose and Congressman Mark Green. Both of them will be speaking. We're excited to have them here. It's this whole planning and laying out and setting up. It's just been a miracle after a miracle, I believe. What's the chance of having 2 U.S. congressmen have the same date available at the same time.
I was surprised.
I was too.
Yeah.
So we're excited about having that. We still have a few tickets available, and a few. So it's exciting. We're almost at our capacity of what we said.
Well, isn't Pamela going to be there tonight too?
Yes, Pamela Furr.
My buddy.
She is going to be there. She's going to sing national anthem.
Mm-hmm. Does a fabulous job with that.
Yes. So we're just excited. It's going to be a great night. Our own Robertson County veterans are going to do the presentation of the flags.
Love them.
I'm excited about that. So it's going to be a great night. If you have not got a ticket yet, please do so. Matter of fact, you can go to RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com, RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com, and order or buy your ticket online. I encourage you to do that quickly. Last year, we did not have a ticket available at the door.
It's sold out. Mm-hmm.
It's sold out, and we're pushing that capacity again. So we're excited about this.
Yeah, and I think honestly, with connection with 99.7, whenever, because we've had Brian and we've had Pamela at the last two, and they would talk about it, and that would push that last minute sales. With her not on the air right now, I think that the word's not getting out as much. But because I used to be the chairman, I got a phone call from Haggerty's folks a couple of days ago, and I'm like, not it. Number one, when they call, I was like, not it, not me anymore.
Haggerty will have representation tonight.
Oh, so they're not going to. So the senator's not going to be there.
He's got too much going on.
Yeah.
So
I thought maybe, but so they are sending somebody.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Well, give a little shout out for an advertisement promotion for Pamela. She is going to be on 99.7 today from noon to 3.
Oh, well, then she'll promote it. Good girl.
So,
okay. Well, I didn't know she was filling in today.
Yeah,
you rock.
I found that out,
I talked to her the other day quite a
yesterday.
while, but yeah. Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, very good. I'm glad that worked out. I like how God just kind of threw it. But yeah, so she's going to be filling in on the talk shows. Awesome.
Yep.
And good girl.
Yeah.
And so she'll be doing that, and I'm sure she'll be mentioning. Oh, by the way, so you may completely sell out then, because that's a pretty big audience.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big audience.
That's very large.
Very
audience.
nice. Don't you just love how that's all worked out?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
exciting. We
Nice.
have Credenda is going to be doing some music from the 5 o'clock to almost 6 o'clock hour, and so they do really good.
They're my neighbors. I've had
Are
them
they
on
really?
here. Oh, they live just around the corner from me.
well,
We've
that's
done some
cool.
music out at my house, and they do like farmhouse sessions, and we've done a little bit of that out at our farm. But
Yeah.
let me say a little bit about Credenda. If you've not heard their single, "A Bridge in Dixon County," oh, it's so cool. It's the Good Samaritan story set to music. And have you heard that, Arlin?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's just I love kind of a folksy kind of
Yeah, we need to talk them into
ballad
playing that
kind of
tonight.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I don't have any doubt they'll play it. I mean, it is good. It is so good, and you can buy that single, by the way, from Credenda. And but they're just fabulous, and love them. And it's a family band, and they've just got a great story. And their mom talks funny because she's not from here. I love her accent, but anyway, she's British. But anyway, they're a sweet family, and you will enjoy Credenda if you get out there early.
Yeah.
So very good.
Yeah. So doors open at 5 o'clock. We have a VIP reception at 5:30. Sorry, tickets are already sold out for that.
Oh, yeah. Not surprised.
And then the event will kick off at 6 o'clock. We have a live auction, silent auction. We have some amazing items that will be there. I mean, it's just going to be a full night, going to be a great night. And if you have not gotten your ticket yet, I would encourage you, go on our website, RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com, and get your ticket. It's going to be the event to go to in Robertson County tonight.
Absolutely. And they just want to remind you, too, that every politician in town will be there. So if you want to get to know, I mean, we're in the primary, and because the primary is happening, and it is a Republican primary, as you know, because this is a very red county. And I know my Democrat friends just cringe when I say that. It's just the truth. And here's the thing: if you really want to have a say in some key races, you've got to vote in the primary, because whoever wins the primary will win the race. I mean,
we have several races like that.
I have several Democrat friends. I know when I say that, you just kind of cringe, but it's just the truth.
Yep.
And so if you want to have an effective say in, these races, and I'll say the judge and the attorney general right there, those two races, if you want to have a say in who ends up in those positions, you've got to vote in the primary, because the race is pretty much over after that.
Yeah.
And it's just the truth. Okay. That's just the truth. And
well,
so
let me throw some clarity out there, because there's a lot of impression that the Republicans were the only ones who filed
for a primary. Yeah.
The Robertson County Democrats filed as well.
And here's the thing too: we've been hearing, and I'm just to address this since we're kind of political, and the views and opinions are our own, and don't necessarily express the views of ownership of this radio station. I've been hearing this number tossed around. It's costing us $62,000. And I've done a little research on that. And one of the things that I have found is one of the ways that they achieve that number. Number one, people who are pushing that number did not want the primary, and so they're trying to kind of give it a black eye. But what they'll do, and it does cost. Of course, there's cost involved, but they take. This has been what I've had it explained to me, because I've been checking, and we'll just leave it at that. But the way I've had it explained to me is what they do is they have people who work for the election commission, and what they would be working anyway. But during the primary, they allocate that hours, they allocate that salary to the primary when they would be working anyway. Yeah. So it's that political murky kind of math that we hear about, and it's one of the reasons why I'm just. I don't like. Arlin knows. Everybody knows. I've checked back out of politics. I stay involved locally. I love my country, but I am I'm a patriot. I'm not anything else.
The way
but anyway.
state law is set up from the very beginning was that every county, when they declare a primary, it's supposed to be already prepared, planned for, budgeted for.
Right.
So it should not be. Sorry, guys. Should not be a surprise to our county commission that a primary was declared, because if they understood how things were set up, at any time that could have happened.
Yeah.
It just happened to be 2022 when that took place.
And honestly, it's something that when I was chairman, I didn't really understand the push for it, and we didn't pass it at that time. And then I kind of got slapped for not pushing it, and I didn't really fully understand. Again, I'm not a very political person. I understand politics very, very clearly enough to know that I have to stay involved because I want to save my country. But I truly the party system. I'm going to watch my mouth, but I'm with you folks that wish we didn't have to, this party or that party. It's the only sandbox we got to play in. And the reason why I ran for Congress as a Republican is because I knew I had no shot at being able to have any voice unless I went one side or the other. And that's the system we have set up. And until we come up with a better one, that's the one we got to work with. And so, I've got to shut up. I have been advised to keep my mouth shut about this. And anyway. Love you all. I really do. I just want my country to love. I just want my country back for God and Jesus Christ, because that's what it was founded on. And you know what? If you can help me get there, then let's go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yep. Well, most people did not realize, and some listening today may not realize this, because Robertson County had never declared primary. We never had a say in a Robertson County person running for district attorney.
Yep.
We never had a Robertson County individual running for judicial.
Yep.
Montgomery County and Robertson County share those. And Montgomery County has always been primaried.
Yep.
So they always had individuals from Montgomery County representing both Montgomery County and Robertson County. Well, now part of the declaring a primary is we now have a seat at the table. And we now have something we can say, and we have representation available. And so, that's just one of the key points. And so
that was what changed my mind on it. That's what changed my mind on it.
For me, it was.
And it was the fact that we didn't have any say. And again, I'm not, as much as I know about politics, I'm not very political. And so I didn't understand all the nuances of it. Now, I've had some people share some nuances of things since we've came into a primary that I wish we could make it perfect. I really wish we could have it both ways.
It would be nice.
So here we go, and it's not costing us $62,000 that we're having to come. I mean, this is not. Anyway, just be honest, y'all. Just let's quit doing murky math with political things. I just cut it out.
Well, I would just
cut
encourage
it out.
you.
Yes, it costs money, but it don't cost $62,000.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Ask to see the budget. Ask to see a line itemized cost.
I kind of have. Well, I was told to not talk about this. I was advised it probably shouldn't open my mouth with this, but anyway. I'm just me, and the views and opinions are our own and don't necessarily express the views and ownership of this radio station. If you want to see what's going on, if you want to meet some folks that are in the political world, tonight's going to be a really good night to do that. You're going to get a chance to meet who will be our new Congressman Mark Green. He will be in there. John's going to introduce him. I'm anxious to get to know Mark. I've not met him at all. I love John Rose. I really do. He was my adversary on the campaign trail, but I just think the world of him and Chelsea, and I really think they have represented us well. Love Ray Render, and hate to see them not be representing Robertson County.
Me
but
too.
I know Mark Green's going to do a fabulous job, and but you can meet him tonight. I can't be there. I've got prior commitments. And so I've got stuff with Celebrate Recovery that's kind of consumed me right now, and I love it. But so I'm not apologizing for that. I just got other commitments tonight.
Well, both of these congressmen are amazing guys.
Mm-hmm.
They work hard to represent the people that they represent, and they do so to uphold the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
They do so to uphold the Constitution.
Absolutely.
So if you're upholding the Constitution, you represent all the people in your district.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of us should be holding to the Constitution. Tonight, you mentioned candidates. We're going to have a whole row of tables set up for all the candidates to be able to put their information on, those who bought tickets, tables, so you can meet them, ask them questions, get to find out if you haven't voted yet, who you want to vote for, who you're leaning towards. You may have a question that you need answered, and they'll be there to be able to answer that. So, and they'll be set up from 5 o'clock when the doors open until we kick off the event at 6.
Very
and of
good.
course, they'll be there. So you'll have an opportunity to mingle and kind of have a little conversation even after 6 o'clock. But, we're doing everything we can to help the people get to know who the candidates are, provide opportunity for them to be able to go meet and greet and, get to ask some questions, get to learn a little bit, get their information. I know we're already in early voting, but there's still going to be opportunity to get yard signs. I mean, whatever you're needing, I'm sure they will have it.
All right.
So...
And two, keep in mind that I need to shut up. I'm sorry. I'm shutting up right now. We're trying to really step out of the political fray here at Ebenezer Broadcasting. This is a Christian radio station, and we got involved in the judge election because Joel Perry had bought some time, and he's a friend, and all of that, and everybody knows I voiced an ad for him, and that's all I'll say about that. But we offered equal time to Max, and so that's the only one we've really completely got invested in. And again, I think ILU was wanting to kind of pull back from that because there's so many running that that would be all we would do.
Yeah.
And we want this show is about what's going on in the community. We're going to be talking to CASA here in a minute at 7:30, and we want to know about what's going on in the community. And this is something that's going on in the community, and it's an opportunity for you to really know who your policy makers are going to be and get to know them so you can get out and early vote. Early voting, I think, is through Thursday. The 28th. So that's Thursday. That's a week from today.
And then election day is May 3rd.
Right. Yes, May 3rd. So we're coming down to the wire, and I'm not kidding. There's a couple of these races. If you want to have a say in them, you are going to have to vote in the Republican primary. That's one thing I think people don't realize. You may be somebody that considers yourself independent, and you don't like assigning things to the party. Because we are holding the Republican Party, if you want to have a say in the judicial races that we've been talking about, and the district attorney race, you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to say, I want to vote in the Republican primary, and that's where you'll have an opportunity to vote and have a legitimate say, because it's just the truth. The people who win those primaries will win the general.
Yeah, because nobody ran against
No, nobody ran against them because this county is extremely red, and it is very conservative. Let's just say that.
But
Go ahead.
It's been amazing. I don't know how much in the past, but I know current past. This primary, this election cycle, we have more people running now than we have in current history. Mm-hmm. That's not just Republicans. That's the Republicans, Independents, and the Democrat. I mean, we have more total in current right now today than we have in current history. Mm-hmm. This is an important election, obviously.
Right.
So encourage you, get out, go vote. Your vote does matter, especially in the local elections. Your vote does matter. So,
and I encourage people to share comments, and Aaron just put up something, and I know Aaron, I understand, brother, but Aaron Slate, who's going to start being a regular on the show, by the way, we're going to start bringing him on as just doing some financial stuff every month, and we'll talk more about that later. But Aaron said this, and this is something that it's a point he made to me. And I get it, but he said prior to having a primary, Robertson County was essentially playing in its own sandbox, because I talk about this is the only sandbox we have to play in. He says by having a primary, we're basically embraced the divisive sandbox known as identity politics, and we've basically welcomed the division into our country. If you don't believe me, look at what's going on between the candidates for General Sessions Judge. Okay, that is the words of Aaron Slate. Anyway, and the views and opinions are our own and don't necessarily express the views and ownership of this radio station. But I get it. I get your point. But I come back to the fact that without a primary, we have no say in the district attorney race. And again, I wish we could make it all beautiful and wonderful. But this is, I know. But I don't know. And again, I just Aaron put it out there, and so I wanted to share his thoughts, because he does make a legitimate point. So I just wish it could all be a beautiful, wonderful world, and we could all just love each other.
Well, if we're going to be in perfection, that's going to be heaven.
Amen. Well, and here's the thing that I wish we could get back to the politics of old, where we agreed to disagree and we were still civil to each other. And I think we unfortunately we forget that, and we've got to be civil to each other. I've got dear friends that are coming to mind right now that are on the other side of the aisle from me. I love them to pieces, but there's some very key things I do not agree with them on, and that's okay. And I'm going to fight for the things I believe in. They're going to fight for the things they believe in, and there you go.
Well, at the end of the day, we're still Americans.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Amen. So,
but that's what it should boil down to. Mm-hmm. This is our nation. We're Americans. We have a Constitution that's supposed to direct and guide us. And, at the end of the day, that's what we should look at. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and let's pause and take a break. And again, I've got so many things in my mind that I'm not saying, that's not coming out of my mouth. And so I'm being very, it's like, Lord, lead my words here. I don't want to cause problems. But man, I just want to be honest about it. And the honest truth is, we're a mess. And until we can really get our hearts back to what it really means to be free and really understand what that means, we just got to do the best we can do every day. And the whole point of the primary, it really seemed like the best we should do at the time, and a lot of it was a district attorney's race. So if you disagree with it, I'm so sorry. You'll get used to it. And we're going to all be okay, and we're all going to be okay on the other side of it, because you know what? Jesus wins. That's all that matters. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, got to get a little Jesus on today, right? I got a pastor in the house with me. So I'm going to talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse, Gifts and Gardening Center. I got my daughter-in-law's dad. He was messaging me the other day. He said, hey, can you give me some information on that CBD stuff? I want to try it. And I asked Amy, I said, well, can y'all ship? And did you know they ship stuff? I mean, they ship CBD. I didn't realize they did that. So that's something I'm going to be checking into for Larry, for my daughter-in-law's dad, because he's interested in it. He's heard me talk a lot about it, and it's such a big help. Anytime I get like a little bite or any kind of an abrasion, instead of going to the things you buy from the store, the things that are full of chemicals, I go to my CBD oil now, and it is fabulous. I've never even thought about it for treating, problems on your skin, anything like that. Of course, I use it I take the drops for my arthritis and have been so impressed with what that's done to help me. But it may really be a game changer for you, just like it is for me. And they have coffee, and they have gummies, and they have patches, and they have oils. I love the oil. That's what I use. And they have the salve that Amy and Miss Jane make right there in the house. It's fabulous. And this is Robertson County CBD. It's from plants that are grown by Amy's brother Bill, and it's really awesome stuff. And remember too that Corbin Creek, don't forget that they're a gardening store, and they have got those beautiful flowering baskets. They're always out and about. If there's an event around town, they've got the flower truck out. They'll be at the farmers market, and they have all kinds of great bedding plants. They're going to have, of course, vegetable plants. They have vegetable plants, and they will grow a garden and have vegetables and things like that to sell. They're just the one-stop shop for all your gardening needs, for your CBD needs. Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Store. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday from 1 to 5. 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185, the number to call at 4920 Highway 161, and Customer Appreciation Day, May 7th. Put that on your calendar. Don't miss it. And when you go by, tell them U-Turn sent you. Dr. Arlin Smith is in the house. And, okay, you got about 5 minutes.
Yep.
I got CASA hanging out in the outside. What are we missing here? You want to maybe go over some of the
go
things
over
that you're
this a
going
little
to well, some of the auction items maybe? You want to kind of mention some of the things that you've got in live auction?
We got a couple rocking chairs. We have some really nice jewelry that will be a part of the live auction. I think we have a couple gift certificates that are going to be live auction items.
I know Guns and Leather put up one. I saw that.
So, and then we have a lot of nice items for the silent auction. I believe one of the live auction items is going to be an American flag that has been flown over the Capitol.
Oh, very cool.
So anyway, it's going to be a great evening. The Reagan Day kicks off tonight. Doors open at 5 o'clock. VIP reception will begin at 5:30, and that's sold out, unfortunately, for those who have not gotten a ticket. It's sold out. And then the dinner begins at 6 o'clock. Moe's Barbecue will be doing the catering for the meal. It's going to be they catered last year, and it was
fabulous.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
So anyway, we're excited about everything going on. The ticket costs at the door is $65. If you want to go online, you can do that, RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com, RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com, and you can get your ticket. And we were looking at 300 people for this event, and we are getting close to that. So
honestly, if Pam, because Pamela Furr is going to do the national anthem, and they have such an audience at 99.7, so she's going to be on the air today, filling in on talk show, and she's going to talk about it. And odds are tickets are going to sell. And so I wouldn't try to get one at the door. If you want to go,
we may not have tickets available at the door.
That's what I'm saying. You can try, but with Pam being able to get on the air and mention it today, I think you got a good shot at selling out before the doors open.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's a very high possibility. So just bottom line, if you want to go to this event, you need to get online and buy a ticket and not wait. And you probably need to do that before Pamela gets on the air at noon. Just saying. Is she on from noon to 3, did you say?
Noon to 3.
Okay. Yeah, once she gets on the air and starts talking about it, probably going to sell a few tickets.
Yeah, so you have 4.5 hours to get your ticket.
So you better do that.
Yep.
All right.
It's also going to be an opportunity to meet your candidates, ask them questions, get yard signage, whatever it is you're needing. But they will be there. We have a whole wall of tables set up for them to put their merchandise on. And merchandise. Well, I guess it is kind of, right?
So, they're paraphernalia.
Yes. So part of the reason we're doing that is because it will help give them an opportunity to have interaction, plus keep our table clear for being able to actually eat and have conversation, not be cluttered up with all the stuff. So.
I love that because that's always kind of one of the annoying things of this thing. It's like you go in there's like all this stuff, and it's like but anyway. But yeah, that's good. And you can go by again. You can go by and talk to these folks and decide who you really want to vote for. And everybody knows I've made my choices. I've made that clear.
Yep.
So,
and we have our monthly party meetings the first Saturday of every month at 8:30. We have a potluck breakfast. At 9 o'clock, we kick off our meetings. We meet at Purpose Life Church at 805 Memorial Boulevard. And, if you're not involved, you're not plugged in, come get plugged in, get involved. We have lots of arm back quarterbacks that give lots of opinion.
Great people.
But man, we've got to get plugged in, get involved.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about the group that assembles there on Saturday morning. I'm not there right now because I've got a grandkid playing baseball. I mean, that's all there is to it. I've got things going with my grandkids. It's just a bad time for me. But if you can get there the first Saturday morning, you go there and get a buffet breakfast, as Marianne likes to call it.
Yep.
And it's a fabulous breakfast. And then you have wonderful fellowship with like-minded individuals. You will be blessed if you will go to these meetings, guys. If you possibly can do it, I just encourage you. The time I have spent with the party there have just been such a blessing and have made lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
Lifelong friendships that I treasure.
And you know this.
Absolutely.
We work hard to make sure that we have speakers there.
Oh,
really
fabulous
good,
speakers.
Qualified, know their stuff.
You bet.
We work hard to make sure that when we have a speaker come in, they know what they're talking about.
The real deal. And so you will be blessed if you can get to these meetings. But if you want to get to know some of these folks, get your ticket today before Pam gets on the air, because I think it'll probably sell out once she does.
Yep. Again, RobertsonCountyRepublicans.com.
Yep.
We look forward to seeing everybody tonight at 5 o'clock. It's going to be the event of Robertson County for tonight.
At the center, after they clean up from recovery court graduation. Dr. Arlin Smith, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. And we're going to
Folks,
go ahead.
thank you. We'll see you tonight.
We're going to hit one of our breaks, and we'll come back with CASA. They are in the house, and we'll be back right after this. Do you stop for the school bus? Most would say absolutely. But did you know that if you encounter a bus on a multi-lane highway with 5 or 6 lanes and there's no barrier or grassy median, then both directions of traffic are required to stop. That means Highway 41, locally known as Memorial Boulevard, and Highway 431, better known as Tom Austin Highway, require traffic in both directions to stop when a bus is loading and unloading passengers. When you see a bus or a school zone, slow down. Pay attention. If the lights are flashing, watch for direction from the bus drivers and crossing guards. Our most precious treasures are on those buses. Let's keep them safe. This has been a public service message from the Transportation Department of Robertson County Schools. We need to re-elect our judge, Judge Joel Perry, on May 3rd. He has worked to keep our community safe for the last 25 years, first as Assistant District Attorney, and then for the last 7 years as General Sessions Judge. Joel was instrumental in establishing the Recovery Court, which has given many the opportunity to turn their lives around and lead a successful drug and alcohol-free life. Joel is also fiscally responsible. So far, he has returned over $500,000 to the county from the court's budget. He adopted a docketing system that reduces the amount of time officers spend in court, saving thousands of dollars in department overtime. Joel understands that the court's job is to keep our community safe and to hold those who are found guilty accountable for their actions. At the same time, he recognizes that the court can help redirect an individual's path in life, thus strengthening families and making Robertson County a better place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Join me in re-electing our judge, Judge Joel Perry, May 3rd. Early voting, April 13th through April 28th. For more information, visit joelforjudge.com. Paid for by Joel for Judge, Irvin Brown, Treasurer. And we're going to pause and talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. If you are wanting to dabble in real estate in Robertson County, Barry and Rebecca will tell you, whether you use them or not, use somebody local that understands the nuances of being in Robertson County, because, man, we're a hot property right now. Everybody wants to be here. And if you're selling property, you want to make sure everybody knows it, because if they know it, you're going to get top dollar for your property. And that's just, you need a marketer. And that's what Barry is. He comes to the team as a marketing expert. He was a vice president of a marketing company in Nashville for many years, went full-time with real estate a few years ago, and joined his wife, Rebecca, who is one of the first in the area to be a senior real estate specialist. So she's been at this a long time. She's always studying to stay up on what matters in the real estate business. And they're one of us. They're Cross Plains. They've been there for over 20 years. So they specialize in Robertson County. You can see that at BuyRobertsonCounty.com. They also buy and sell in the surrounding counties across the state line up in Kentucky. And if you want to connect with them, whether it be you're buying or selling real estate, or maybe you want to be a part of a real estate team, Exit Realty says, come on, we would love to have you be a part of our team. And you can connect with them and find out everything you need to know at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or you can go in again, see their specialty listings at BuyRobertsonCounty.com. Big thing though, please let them know that I sent you. And they'll be at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, of course, which is third weekend in May. I get to host that again. Cannot wait. They help sponsor it. Barry's on the board there. Always a lot of fun. And now I get to talk to some folks that I just admire, just absolutely are so thankful that you're here, CASA. And I have Lee here, I have Tiffany here. Y'all lean into the microphones. And I'm very sorry, we're just now getting you on because is it the child abuse? What is it? It's
Child Abuse Prevention
Month.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are at the end of the month, and I'm just now getting you guys in. But I was talking to Ace, and we were talking about all that y'all do, and I want y'all to outline for people what you do, because I think people don't really understand. They've seen the pinwheels and things at the courthouse, and they're like, what is that? Mm-hmm. And it's just a phenomenal organization. So why don't you, before we talk about the month and the pinwheels and all that, tell them exactly what y'all do. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
So who wants to start?
I'll start and then I'll pass it over to you. So we work with children in juvenile court who have been deemed abused and neglected. Mm-hmm. The only way to have a court-appointed special advocate on your case is to have the juvenile judge appoint us to that particular child. We go in to meet the families, we meet the children, and we are the voice for the child. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited to be in there. We go in and get to know the children, the parents, the foster parents, the schools, the doctors, all that kind of thing. We train volunteers here in the local community. And it's DCS has a lot of turnover. Sometimes attorneys are entering in and out. They all have hundreds of cases that they're dealing with. Our advocates have one case, and they're dedicated to that one person, and so they're able to kind of stay with that child from the beginning of the case to the end of the case to be that one consistent adult in their life. So I'll let Tiffany tell a little bit about how you become an advocate and what the advocates, our number of advocates, that's what we're most excited about right now.
So I was going to ask you, because how are we doing as far as the volunteers? Because this is purely volunteer, and I just love this. Have you been to court? I went to a court case just recently for a finalizing of adoption. Mm-hmm. Okay, and just being in, I've not been in a courtroom very many times. It's very intimidating.
It is.
Cannot imagine being a small child and have all that stuff going on in your life, and to be thrust into that, and to not have somebody there just to put their arms around you and just say it's okay. And that's what your advocates do, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our advocates, we're really excited because we cannot advocate for every child in Robertson County that is in foster care, because we just don't have the advocates. But we had 12 active advocates, and we just graduated a class of 12 advocates. So now we've doubled our advocates. We're at 24.
That's fabulous.
Yes, we are so excited. It still doesn't touch how many kids need advocates. So we are still looking for advocates, and we're really excited to bring some more along, and to hopefully train some more and get more people involved in the life of a child.
I love it. And what do you have to do? This is something that I find just fascinating. People ask me, like, what can I do to make a difference? How about CASA? That's where you change the world. That's where you change the world, is in the life of a child. Because some of us adults, we're so set in our ways, you can't do nothing with us. But with a child, you can, working with Celebrate Recovery and seeing the struggles that people go through, it happens in childhood. Mm-hmm. So much of it happens in childhood, where things, hurts, habits, and hang-ups of life. I'm falling into my CR jargon, but it starts with things that happened to them as a kid. And this is a chance to really make a difference in a child's life and absolutely change their life, and again, possibly change the world, because you never know what a kid's going to grow up to do, right?
Well, we all have so many families where it becomes a generational thing. The grandparents were in foster care, the parents were, and so we're trying to work with them so that we can make sure that we break that cycle. Mm-hmm. But you're right, it does start. And that's one of the things that Child Prevention Month talks about, is when you see somebody in your community where maybe the parents have both lost their job, or they've lost their home, or there's a divorce. Before the abuse starts, what can we do as a community to get in there and support that family so that times don't get so hard that people get so frustrated they take it out on their children?
Well, and that's it just is. I had a thought, you know how it's like it all of a sudden just leaves you. But it's one of those things too. I'm wearing the Isaiah 117 bracelet. All of these things, and it's one thing talking to Misty, once you see them, you can't unsee them.
Right.
And I encourage you folks just to get involved with this and start learning what goes on with these kids that are going through because of the drug addiction. I know what it was. You were talking about how it's generational. That's a conversation we have with Judge Perry all the time, is how he sees people coming up before his court. It's a generational thing. And it just one kid right after another that become adults and end up in his courts. And we've got the recovery court graduation today. All these things wrapped together, guys. All these things are so connected. And if you really want to make a difference, oh my goodness, just start looking and you'll find your place to plug in. You will find your place to plug in. CASA may very well be that because it's a commitment. I mean, it's a commitment.
It is.
Yeah.
And we have other ways that you can support because not everybody has the time or the desire to be an advocate. You know, right now we are currently working from our homes. We haven't had an office since May of last year, and we would love to have some office space. So we've been asking anybody in Springfield area if they have a couple extra offices that they can, you know, we're nonprofit, so we can't come in and pay some of the high rent prices, but we are a tax deduction. And so if anybody had any extra office spaces, we also, our t-shirts that we're wearing, we just started a new donation campaign that for a minimum donation of $20, then you get a free t-shirt because being nonprofit, we work off of grants and donations. And we're also looking for some board members, which is, you know, what we meet once a month. It's not a huge commitment, but it allows somebody to work behind the scenes and kind of support these children as well without getting directly involved in the families. So all of those ways, and then just spreading the word and praying. Because all of these children and families need that extra support, and the more people know about CASA around the community, the better support we can give these children. Okay, so if we want to get a t-shirt, how do we do that? Can you go online? How do we get those? Right now you can email me at casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com, but we're fixing to launch a brand new website, and we will be selling them on there as well. Are you going to have donation places online where people can be like a monthly donor and absolutely and just kind of pour into the community? Because I mean, how long has CASA been in Robertson County? 18 years. 18 years. At least that's our official stance. Okay, right now. You're like, we think. Yeah. But what got this started? I mean, is this something that how long have y'all been involved? Because I've been there a little over 3 years. Okay. And Tiffany just got here. 6 months, yeah. Okay. But Carol Sletto was the big person behind it when it got started. And it took a few years for her to get established as a 501c3 and get the charter and get everything. But from what we've just recently gone back to look through the records, and it looks like 2004 was the first case that we received. Okay. So it's been right at 18 years. And this is just somebody that said, man, we got to fix this. Yeah. That's when you make it. I love how this stuff works. When you see a need and you start pouring yourself into it, and I could start rattling off nonprofits that are changing the world from the ground up, guys. CASA's one of them, and it's one I didn't know anything about. I say all the time, I'm so thankful I get to sit in this seat because I've learned so many cool things about my community since I got here, and this is one of the coolest. And CASA is a national organization, actually started in Washington by a judge who was like, how am I making these decisions for children's lives? Like, I make these huge decisions, but I don't get to go into the homes. And so he organized CASA and started training people. And our volunteers can be anybody from the community. You just have to be 21 years old. We have people in the music industry to, Olive Garden managers to big CEOs of companies out in California. I mean, we have everybody across the board. And that's cool. Because it doesn't take a degree, it doesn't take a professional background. What it takes is commitment to a child. It takes a heart, and it takes somebody who
who wants to hold somebody's hand as they go through some of the worst times of their life. And that's what we get to see. We live in the volunteer state. There's lots of places to volunteer and lots of opportunities. But if you really want to see your hours really have a huge impact, CASA is where your few hours a month, 10 hours is about what we say. Of course, every case is different, but your 10 hours a month can make a huge difference, and not even in the life of that child, but in the generations surrounding them and following them, that you really have a huge impact.
Okay, so if this has perked my interest, say I'm listening and I'm like, oh, that sounds like, so what's the process then? You say you had to graduate some volunteers and you just had a class that graduated. So if I call you today and say, I really want to do this, how long before I would be working with kids?
Well, we have about twice a year, we do an advocate training class. So our advocates, one of the things they sign up for is intense training, because to come into a child's life and help change it requires a little bit of understanding of the situation and the system. And so it's a 30-hour training. We have been doing them on Tuesday nights, and it's 10 weeks for 3 hours. And so that's what that training is, what you commit to doing, and then you get sworn in by the judge.
Cool.
Our next training class, we're looking at August as being our next training class. But it takes a little, there's an application, there's kind of a meet and greet process that we go through. You have to do a background check. So it takes a little bit of time to get things started. So if somebody's interested, going ahead and getting started in the next couple months would be great, so that we've got everything ready to roll by August.
Right, because those background checks, it does take a minute, and you have to have that. I mean, that's just absolutely, that's the first thing. We do background checks if you watch them in Bible class. I mean, not really, I don't think.
Some churches do.
Some do, and I'm not sure if we do or not. But I mean, you've got to be careful about who comes. I worked at the Y for a little while. Oh my goodness. You talk about getting scrutinized, you go through it. And that's what you got to when you're working with kiddos. And so we were talking with Tiffany Thompson and Lee Blocker, and they are with CASA. And it is just a fabulous organization. And this is Child Abuse Prevention Month, which is a big focus of what goes on with CASA, because that's who we're trying to help, are these kiddos that are in abusive situations. And it's, I think about the school systems, and I think about how we find kids, and coming off of COVID and the time when we couldn't get eyes on kids. And then I've talked to them over at the Family Resource Center over at the school, and talking to them and how they were working so hard just to get eyes on those kids. And we've got such an amazing community to get all this stuff. It's just all tied together, but they need you. And so they need you to be a part of it. And you'll see the pinwheels around town. So if somebody wants to kind of get involved and draw emphasis to Child Abuse Prevention Month, what is something they could do right now?
Well, we used to plant them in the courthouse square, and they were beautiful for like 2 hours, and then the wind blew, and then the weed eaters came, and they looked terrible. So we decided to do something different and get more people involved. And so we've been doing a virtual pinwheel garden. People just taking pictures in front of their businesses or their churches or at home with their kiddos, and we've been putting it on our CASA page. And then we ask people to go and from that CASA page, forward that out onto their Facebook pages, because the more people that see it, the more aware people are.
Yeah.
And the more people we can reach through that way. And social media is kind of the way to go right now with reaching people. So that's the big thing. But the other thing is just remember that we're all mandated reporters. And if you see something, if you suspect something out there is not right with a child, it's not your job to investigate it. It's not your job to decide if it's right or wrong. You just have to make that call and let somebody else take that. But it takes the burden off of you, and takes the burden off of you wondering if you've done the right thing. Make that call, because it shouldn't hurt to be a child. It just shouldn't. And we're all out there to make sure that we protect everybody in our community, especially our children.
Absolutely. And if you want to, I've got young grandchildren right now, and I've got a granddaughter who's almost 2. And I was sitting in, we were at the ballpark, and she was just laughing and just full of joy. And just because I know y'all, and because I hear all the stuff, and because I work with, the Benevolence Center and homeless community and all that, I'm watching this, my beautiful granddaughter, and I'm just thinking, why can't every kid have that kind of joy? And the only way for them to get that kind of joy is for people to get vested in them. And you got to volunteer. If you're not volunteering, guys, you have no idea what you're missing. It will fill you up so much more than you pour out. it will absolutely come back tenfold to you, and you will just make such a difference in the life of a child. Cannot say it enough. I tell you what, let's go ahead and pause. I do need to do one more break before we finish up, but we're talking about, what does CASA stand for?
Court-appointed special advocate.
Court-appointed special advocate. There's another CASA. Is there another CASA organization? Or because I've heard CASA somewhere else, but it's not the same thing. Is there? Do you know?
Well, we talked about that before, and other than being the Spanish word for house, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know why that keeps coming to my mind. And I'm sorry to ask you about that again, but for some reason, because I had somebody else ask me about that, and I'm like, no, this is the one for the kids, and that's the one you need. And you can make sure you find it pretty easily. But CASA is making a difference, and we got a great one here in Robertson County. They need office space. You got offices that you can let them have, so they need office space. Be really cool in the downtown square because it's really, really cool.
Right.
I'm sure. I mean, what have you got in the downtown square, y'all? You got some office space for them? They need that. I'm thinking about a few places that I think might, and so we need to go knock on some doors. Have you knocked on some doors and said, hey, have y'all been bold? Sometimes you got to be bold.
We have, and our board is out there trying to look for places. So we're just waiting for the right place to come along.
It will. But so get out there. If you've got some office space for them, preferably in the downtown square, that'd be really convenient. Just saying. That'd be real helpful. But they need some office space, and they need advocates. So if you want to be an advocate right now, get them your information so they can get you through all the background checks and things and get you ready for the new training in August. But we are going to pause, and we're going to talk about Cumberland Connect, one of our new sponsors. I'm so excited about this, mainly because I am one of those folks that have had terrible internet forever. If I try to upload video, pictures, anything like that, I have to come in here and steal internet from Ebenezer Broadcasting. Now, I'll call Ilya and I'll say, hey, I'm going to be in the parking lot borrowing your internet. And he just rolls his eyes. But now the Ebenezer Church that became Ebenezer Broadcasting, they're in the same situation. They have terrible internet where the church is located. So they're super excited about Cumberland Connect. And basically what it is, if you are a Cumberland Electric customer, a CEMC customer, you're going to have high-speed internet available to you. They're bringing it, and they're coming just as fast as they can. It's reliable, high-speed fiber internet services coming to all CEMC members. And I talk about this quite a bit. Whenever I was on the campaign trail, I was on when Governor Lee first ran. When he was, I guess he hasn't had to rerun yet, but when he was out on the campaign trail, one of his things we noticed traveling around, when you get in, you would think whenever you're traveling on a campaign that you could do business while you're running down the road while somebody's driving you. You can't, because you can't get connectivity. And that's a big problem, because everything has to happen. I mean, so many people are working from home, so much education. We were really had that point driven home during COVID when kids were trying to study from home and could not get online. Well, that's what's fixing this. And this is a big deal, and it's awesome, and it's going to be a great price. State-of-the-art Wi-Fi 6 routers included with the internet service, no extra charge, 24/7, 365 days a year technical support, and they've got a referral program. No residential contracts, internet speeds up to 1,000, 1 gig Mbps. I can understand what all this stuff means. It's going to be great, and there's no limit. They're not going to throttle you. I have a phone service that throttles me. After Verizon, you know who you are. And I'm just saying, let's just call you out. But you don't have to worry about this with Cumberland Connect. They're one of our new sponsors. We're thrilled to have them here at One Street Over. So get in touch with CEMC and see when they're coming to your neighborhood and make the switch to Cumberland Connect. It is so exciting. I can't wait. I'm supposed to be getting them this year. So I'm very excited. Lawrence Lane is going to be getting hooked up, and I am thrilled. And they're one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. Thank you guys for joining us for One Street Over. We got CASA in the house. Lee Blocker's here. Tiffany Thompson's here. You've been here a few times now. Is this about your second?
I think this is my third or fourth time.
Third or fourth time. And I'm so glad. And please, you've got my cell number now. Call me. Because I've got so many different things going on in my world. Whenever you call me, I get you on the schedule, because a lot of times things slip through the cracks with me, and somebody will mention it to me, but texting me is the best way. So, I'll just give you my phone number, 615-594-7736. Please don't spam me. 615-594-7736. Any of the things I'm talking about and you need information on, text me is the best way, because if I don't recognize your phone number, I'm not going to answer it. But if you text me, that's a really good way to connect. If you've got something that needs to be on the show, we want to get you on, because we want to know what's going on in the community. What are we missing here? What we need to cover before we kind of wrap it up? We've got about 8 minutes here. Anything that we need to cover that you think we've slipped up on?
I think one thing just to kind of keep in mind that, and we do want to come back for, is we've got our Boo Bash Dash again in October. Because being the nonprofit, we do rely heavily on donations and fundraisers. And next year, we hope to get another couple fundraisers going. And that's kind of why we started with the T-shirts this year, doing the donation, just because we wanted, with COVID, there's so many, and people are beginning to come back. There's so many dinners. There's so many different things that are happening, and people are kind of stretched thin and where they can go and what they can do. So we want to do something a little bit different. But we do have our Boo Bash Dash coming back in October, and we're really excited about that. So,
and that's just, I really want to get my grandson involved in that, and his schedule stays booked, and my granddaughter too, just because I think it would just be so much fun, get to dress up and come out and participate in that. That just sounds like so much fun, and so I'm gonna do my very best to get that on my calendar and come and be a part of that, because I've tried last couple of times and just something got in the way, but I think that's wonderful. And yeah, just getting some more fundraisers going, and just awareness that this is something, a place for you to pour your heart into, your finances. Yes, buy a T-shirt, be out there and be an advocate for CASA and an advocate for the kids. Be for the child. I love that. So wonderful.
We're going to be out a couple times at the first Friday night market too.
Oh, good.
So you can look for us there to get more information, get contact information. We'll have some T-shirts there as well.
Oh, good deal. And the first Friday night markets are starting up just May 7th.
May 7th.
Yeah, I was trying to think, because we've got a long April's a long month. We've got a fifth Thursday and Friday. So
it's the first Friday in May, so it's May 6th or 7th.
But we've got an extra Thursday and Friday in April, so it's just been kind of interesting that it seems like April's taking forever to get. It went very quickly, but it's also kind of rather long. But so when did do you happen to know when since we got a couple of minutes, do you happen to know when the month of attention for bringing the emphasis to stopping the child abuse prevention month, when did that start? Took me a minute to get my words out.
I don't know when it started. I do know they recently did a rebranding, because it used to be Child Abuse Awareness, and they changed it to Child Abuse Prevention, because we don't just need to be aware when it's happening. We need to be aware before it happens to try to step in. So it was a new mindset that started a couple years ago with changing the name. But I don't know when it started. And it's really cool. I went recently to South Alabama to see my dad. And we were driving through town, and there was a pinwheel garden out in the yard. So it's really neat to go. No matter where you go, there's these blue pinwheels around. I was in Mount Juliet the other day, and there was some planted at their child advocacy center. So it's well known, and when you see them, and the cool thing is we share Autism Awareness Month, which is also blue. So it doesn't matter if you just wear blue during the month of April, you're supporting somebody.
There you go. I didn't know that either, and I've got some very sweet friends that are autistic. Pat Riley, I need to get you in here. He's got a son that's autistic. This dear friend of mine he's just precious, and I didn't know that. So there you go. I'm gonna have to have somebody in for autism next week.
I've been in the social work field for over 20 years, and it's always been blue pinwheels in April, so
okay.
It's been a long time. I don't know.
Blue pinwheels in April. It's something I've got to put it on my calendar and make sure, because it's just such an amazing thing and just such an amazing opportunity for you. So let's just, again, before we wrap it up, tell them again in the last couple of minutes how they can get involved, how they can be an advocate. What all do you need them to know from your visit today?
If you go to CASA of Robertson County, that's our website. It's also the email, casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com. We can get you any of the information you need. Our next advocate class is in August. You can get involved by donating online. You can get involved by just sending a check, a one-time check if you want to. We have credit card sales. Any way we can take the money. If you have office space, if you'd like to be a board member, any of those things, if you email me or get in touch with our website or our Facebook page, Instagram page, we have all of those things. If you message us, we'll get more information.
Absolutely. And the shirts, is there something on the back?
There is.
Oh, gotta turn around. Let's get it going. Let's let everybody see what's on the back. Oh, I love it. CASA. So there, I think we can see it. It's the logo on the back. We'll show that off, but I'll have to be getting me a T-shirt because I'm a T-shirt queen. Only reason I don't have a T-shirt on today, and as we're kind of wrapping up, I do need to kind of mention some of the things going on just real quickly because there's so much. But the only reason I don't have a T-shirt on today is because I'm going to the Recovery Court graduation at noon at the center. Please go and be a part of that. There's also the Let's Talk Trash auction tonight. This is something that's for the kiddos, and I don't want you to miss out on this. This is going to be be at the F&M Bank, and it's going to be from 4 to 5 p.m., and I'm going to be there, but it's the F&M Bank up in Greenbrier. Yeah, it's the F&M Bank at 3519 Tom Austin Highway. 3519 Tom Austin Highway is where this is happening. And what it is they brought these irises around for the kiddos in schools to decorate with recyclable items. And they're beautiful pieces of art. And it's just to draw attention to the fact that you need to take care of the world, and you need to take care of God's creation. And they're going to auction these off. The money goes back to the schools. Half of it will go to the shop that built the irises, and then the other half will go to the school that wins it. And you can display them at the schools. You can display them in your business, and it's just a way to get involved in your community, help raise some money. But again, my friends, Keenan Group are behind all this, and this is happening 4 to 5 p.m. this afternoon. So please come and be a part of that. Don't forget the Recovery Court graduation. And you know, and one of our new sponsors, I failed to kind of give all of his information. I need to do this real quick. You got to get out to Veterans Motorplex this weekend. He sent me a little bit more information because they have got a hot dog eating contest this weekend that you want to be a part of. And they've got $1 beef hot dogs all night. You can go out on Saturday for $40. You can get in a family of 8. Can you believe that? I mean, there you go. You can take
I've got 5 kids. So
there you go. $40. $40. You can go see some great racing. And they've got the Road Warriors this weekend, late model sportsmen, road runners, Road Warriors, Pure Stock. I don't know what all this stuff is, but he does. Jerry's sending me all this stuff. I got to get out to the race so I get a little more acclimated to our new sponsor. But I failed to give all this yesterday, so I just wanted to kind of tag this in. But you can enter the hot dog eating contest and win your share of $100 in cash. It's going to be a fun weekend. Get out to the Veterans Motorplex, and we'll talk more about that. But there's just so much going on. Hopefully I'll see you at the Recovery Court graduation at noon today, and at the auction for Let's Talk Trash later today as well. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a great day.
COVID-19 update. The health department says there were 310 cases per day between April 10th and the 16th. There have been more than 2,023,000 COVID cases in Tennessee since the outbreak began. More than 26,000 people have died from COVID-related illnesses. Springfield residents invited to take part in the city's second annual Spring Community Cleanup this Saturday from 9 till